So last session, for anybody who was or wasn't here, was mostly surrounded around the room that most of you are standing next to. That is slash was Unk's tomb, and it had a maze that y'all went through and put keys into the sarcophagus. Y'all got special powers from doing that. Hope y'all wrote them down so that you know what they are. Does anybody
Yes,
not
down.
have it?
I marked down that I now have 23 constitution, so that's fun.
That was from Unk. That was... Oh, you got the purple key. Let me go find the purple key. The purple key is... Where is Unk? This floor, for some reason, they numbered the tombs in like the opposite order you would go. Purple. You gain the Charm of the Maimed. This charm allows you to regrow a lost appendage or organ, such as an arm, a foot, or an eye. After used once, it goes away.
Okay, what I wrote in my notes and what I remember from how we played it in the last combat don't match.
So,
Charm of Crystal Heart.
immunity. Oh.
Yeah, we did
you're
resistance.
Right. Fair enough. You have immunity, to piercing and slashing damage from non-magical attacks, but you are vulnerable to bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
I might as well go through these real quick and make sure everybody understands them at the top of the session. So Xanthiel, you got the purple key. Sebastian got the blue key. Kellic, you got the gold key, which is the Charm of Treasure Sense. Basically, you can use an action to smell any precious metals or gems within 30 feet of you. This lasts for 3 days. So you can literally smell gold.
I mean, birds are well known for their incredible sense of smell.
Mm-hmm. Yaza, you have the Charm of 9 Lives, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. You have 9 times when you drop to 0 hit points, you can choose to drop to 1 hit point instead. Teresa, you have the green key, which is the Charm of the Swollen Hag. This charm allows you to spit up a frog as an action. It understands you and obeys your commands. You can do this 3 times. And Belcorge, the Beholder, has the red key, which lets him eat recently dead people and get hit points back, which just seems completely on brand for a Beholder, in my opinion. So, surprised that wasn't a baseline ability. Cool. Yeah, so after you dealt with the maze, dealt with, honestly, probably too many Minotaurs, and killed all of them.
Minotaur skeletons.
Minotaur skeletons. After you killed after you re-deaded all of them, most of you went into this little hallway in the back that led to a ticking grandfather clock. I think the salient points about this ticking grandfather clock is it has an invisible door in front of the mechanism that has an invisible keyhole in it. And on the hour, when the clock chimes, it appears to potentially age anyone in the room by 10 years. So if you want to be Silver Fox, it's great. If you don't, not so good. I think it is, according to my calculations, my time calculations were actually wrong last week. It's about 11 a.m. in the morning right now. And just to give you guys context on long rest, you are eligible for another long rest at 10 p.m. tonight. So you got about 10 adventuring hours before you are eligible to take a long rest. And I think that catches up everything on my end. Questions, comments, concerns?
Nope.
Cool. Then the tomb is yours. What would you like to do?
We should probably go to a room we haven't been into yet.
Of course.
As Kellick's walking along this hallway, he's just going to walk along in like a spiral fashion. like up one wall, then onto the roof, then down the other wall, and then back to the floor, and then up the other wall. It's just for shits and giggles.
Okay. Teresa, I actually have a question for you.
Yes.
I think many floors ago, on probably the second floor, you guys found the corpse of a dragonborn in a circular
Yes, I did.
hallway, and it had a staff. And I think you had picked it up, and I wanted to check in if you had actually ended up attuning to that staff or not.
I know I picked up everything except for the symbol. Let me check. The Yikla and the Staff of Striking. And, I mean, I assume that... Actually, is this a 2? Oh, it is. Okay. So I didn't explicitly say that I attuned to it. I was just holding on to it.
Okay. I'm just trying to find out if that's in play or not. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Kellic, you're slightly dizzy. From your walking of the spiral path.
Have we been in this room yet with the skeletons?
Yes, the room that you're walking into is the Minotaur room.
Okay.
So basically you're coming back into the place where you guys fought about 10 skeletal Minotaurs after opening the sarcophagus of Unk.
Okay, well, I'd like to sniff around and see if there's anything that I missed.
You do not smell any gold that is not on a person you know.
Do I see with my passive perception anything unusual? Might
Uh,
stand out in this room.
Not beyond what you've already seen.
Okay. Oh, so we've opened that chest in front of
So
Samuel, or-
that's the grandfather clock that has the invisible locked
right.
door.
The one that ages people.
You looking for a secret door in that room?
Yeah!
You do not detect any secret doors besides the ones that already opened, which are all of those 10 chambers around the side.
I'm reasonably sure that's also your passive perception anyway.
Specifically for secret doors, his passive perception is, I think, 20.
Wasn't it 23? Because of his wisdom score or something?
No, it actually perfectly comes up to 20.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Or no, it's 22. Sorry.
Yeah.
Advantage on passive checks is converted to a +5 bonus, and since it only applies to secret doors, his passive perception for secret doors is 22.
Nice.
That Kellic is a maze that is ever shifting. Last session, everybody went into it and got keys to open the sarcophagus in the middle of the room.
Sweet, so we've completed the entire dungeon. Nice.
Alright, so we win Dungeons and Dragons. Nice, cool.
Yes.
I mean, you can go up to the front door and see if you can get out, if you really want.
Xanthiel picks up Teresa. Amira kind of does it to me all the time in the other campaign, damn it. Literally always just grabs myself and Gale and then just like tosses us into his next plan, to use the word generously.
I was going to say, I think plan needed air quotes.
You'd be surprised how many brilliant ideas he's actually had over the course of the
Yeah.
game.
He actually kind of does like save a bacon sometimes, but
We call that an idiot savant.
Yeah. That's him. Just to reiterate from last session, the only person who can't not fail jumping over that acid pit is Teresa.
yep, which is the real reason why I grabbed her. Not just to be a dick.
Do you have coconuts in your inventory, Xanthiel?
Sure.
Don't know.
Because I really love the idea of a centaur that
yes,
also
no
carries coconuts and makes hoof sounds while walking.
I mean, she would. She's walking on a stone surface, so... Imagine that must be hell on her feet, or hooves, I guess. Not entirely sure. I've never owned a horse.
That's why you forge some.
You mean you
forge some
don't
shoes.
have shoes?
Yeah, Xanthiel doesn't have... She goes shoes shopping and then gets bitterly disappointed by the choice.
And then decides to just forge them herself.
Yep. Makes them enchanted +1 horseshoes. I can do that once every rest, turn anything into a +1 item.
Yeah, but you can also build any like a metal item that's less than 100 gold worth.
Technically, as long as I have the raw materials, I can make it out of anything, with no restriction.
Well, you can't do it until your next long rest.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
true.
you
I just
have-
burned all my high
I
spells
think
on
you have
Prayer
a-
restoration.
A bag full of bone keys on you right now.
Yep, and all my high level spells are gone, I think. Oh no, I have 1 4th level left.
So in context of doing things, do you guys
Yeah,
want to stay in this room or head out? What would you like to do?
I'm thinking we get on out of here. Teresa, did you want to, I don't know, I guess climb on Xanthiel's back and then we jump out and continue exploring the tomb?
Pog.
Sweet.
I just, again, want to point out the beautiful tableau that in any other setting would be just lovely, but in this setting
My
is
Little
somewhat
Pony
marred.
sort of thing.
Yeah. Friendship is magic.
I mean, necromantic zombies can still be friends, can't they?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Friendship is best ship.
Are they? Is it friendship if they have to do what you say? Sebastian,
No,
you're
usually possessive friend.
approaching that door. Let me find some adequate scenery to describe for you.
Okay.
Okay. So you approach this door. What appears to be a large stone door looms at the end of the hallway, but it bears no handles or hinges. Jutting from the wall on either side are 2 matching bronze sculptures, each the head and neck of a serpent with fangs bared. On the lintel above the door is inscribed the following message in common: warm like flame, cold for the cruel, still for the dead, gruel for the ghoul. And you can smell, coming from those rotting serpents, a stench of rotting flesh.
Do I smell the stench of gold?
No.
And it's not the smell of those zombies like right behind Sebastian.
No,
Could
like
be that.
literally from the bronze sculptures you can detect there's a scent coming off of those sculptures on basically the north and south side of the hall. I think if you zoom in real far, you can actually see it because of the map that I have now, which is kind of cool.
The little snaky boys.
Yeah.
Do I see anything else unusual with 23 passive perception?
If you investigate the snakes a little bit, there's dried blood in each statue's mouth and tiny tubes leading back into the neck of the snake.
Oh, so we probably better, like, either they shoot something out, I'm guessing. Or if they have tubes. And I'm guessing I can't really see where they go besides inside the stonework.
Yeah, so the mouths of these bronze snake statues are blood-stained, and it looks like the tubes are kind of at the bottom of the back of the mouth, so you would assume if there is anything happening there, it would be blood going into the tubes. probably not shooting out unless it's mechanical or magical or something.
Both of which could very well be true in a dungeon like this.
What did the inscription over the door say again?
What did it say? It said... Oh, come on. There we go. Let me grab it and copy it again in the most recent thing. So, the inscription on the plaque to this floor says... Oh, damn it. Of course. Let me, put line... Oh, really? Really? Okay, fine. I give up. Death to fire, dine or drown, precious air, and falling sand is the first line. The second line reads, the army sleeps in silence. The third line says, the mirror holds 12. The fourth line says, find the iron scepter's twin. And the fifth and final line says, the maze holds the key.
That's the inscription by the grand staircase, right?
Oh, did I read the wrong inscription to you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's what I was gonna say. I thought that I was like,
Sorry.
is that the same
Sorry.
exact one as somewhere else?
No. The inscription above this door says, warm like flame, cold for the cruel, still for the dead, gruel for the ghoul. There we go. Oh, I get it. Sorry.
It's always pretty amusing when the DM's like, ah.
Yeah, it's like, oh wait, no, I get it. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Well, I am not 100% sure, but I could ask everyone else to stand back while I open the door.
That
See what
has
happens.
nothing to grab onto, right?
It's a big stone door.
Is it locked though?
I mean, you can attempt to open it, and we'll find out what happens if you do so.
Thaumaturgy. If it's not
Thaumaturgy.
locked, then it just opens.
Thaumaturgy does not work.
Damn it.
Sorry, there has to be a limit to thaumaturgy.
Damn it. Okay.
Not every door can be opened purely by thaumaturgy.
Fine. I push it open, or try to.
So you're gonna have to try and lift it open. What is your
Use
strength?
my zombies. to
I'll help
assist.
him. I'm gonna help go over and help
My
him.
strength is 16, but she's a centaur and gets a bonus to pulling and pushing things.
Well, this is lifting.
So lifting probably wouldn't count then for that.
Okay. Oh, let me see.
Rob?
What?
Nothing.
So we've got
I was
6.
gonna let my zombies assist as well.
What is 16 plus 18? 20. That's 34.
32, wouldn't
Is it 32 or 34?
it? Thought it'd be 32 for 18 plus 14.
16.
What?
Right? 16. Yeah, you have a strength of 16. Yaza has a strength of 18.
Oh, right.
So you guys have a combined strength of 34. So together, you are able to lift this door, which is kind of funny, but I'm going to ignore it's 1,000 pounds, and you can grind it up. As you do so,
Shit.
some stuff happens. So you get the door open, and you're holding it up. As you do so, I'm going to do that, and unlock the door, and open that door. Good God. Hey, there we go. As you open this door, it also opens 2 doors on the side of the hall directly in front of you that releases what you can hear now are some slathering ghasts, and they are going to come at you guys.
Is the door still like being held open by us, or is
You guys are holding the door open, so I guess you have a split second to decide what you want to do.
we could drop? Well,
You
we
could
have
drop
to
it on them.
Yeah. Do we want to wait until the ghouls are like about to cross the threshold, and then we drop it on them?
Yeah, I like that. Let's do that. Because we don't have really a lot of great options. Most everything we have to do with our hands of some sort.
Yeah, barring like the entire party rushing past us while we hold the door open.
Yeah, exactly.
And are simultaneously being attacked.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say what happens here is before I do anything in combat. So you see 2 ghasts rush at you. You can hear more. If you want, you can drop the door as the front 2 ghasts approach.
Sure.
I think we should still do it because we have no other plan. Like yell out that there's more coming.
Yep.
So do you guys drop it as they approach?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'll
think
try
that's
to
the plan.
Cool.
drop it on one of them as they like cross it and try to. But yeah, that works.
I'm going to roll some dex saves to see if this actually hits the ghasts or not. Because that seems appropriate.
Fair.
And I'll say one of the ghasts shockingly realizes what is happening and kind of dodges back. The second one is just pulped as you guys drop the door, and basically there is now like a twitching ghast arm from underneath this door and a pool of ichor from where you have splattered that ghast.
Is he okay? I have a box of band-aids.
I mean, that's really a philosophical question at some point. Like, is a live ghast or a dead ghast better off?
I stick a band-aid on its arm.
Okay. Well,
You're helping.
Kellic wants to walk up and grab the arm that is protruding and bleeding all over the place and whack it off with a short sword, and then put the bleeding arm up to the mouth of one of the snakes and try and drain blood into it.
Ah.
I'm gonna say I love the idea, but I think the quality of you do so. So you successfully pour that blood in. I'm gonna say you can tell that gassed blood is of a different quality than the good piping hot red stuff, and there is no response from either the snake statues or the door.
Well, Kellic will just kind of look at the snake thing, then slowly look over at what's this guy's name?
Orvex?
and slowly bird blink at him, and then kind of shake his head and
Xanthi will cut the arm,
Okay.
put a bit of the blood in the snake's mouth.
Okay, I'm gonna say take like 1d4 slashing damage, just to make it fun. And oof, because after you let a fair amount of blood drip out, you hear kind of a faint scrabbling sound from beyond.
Oh yeah. But nothing else happened, like the door didn't open or anything like that.
Kellic will do the same thing on the other snake.
Oh, right.
Okay, yeah. Take 1d4 damage from bloodletting yourself. And the door grinds upwards, and that you can see that there are 2 shut doors on either side of the hallway in front of you.
Interesting.
Okay, well, before we go any further, I am going to use Cordnaveras on those doors.
So kind of like right here.
Yeah, so 2 pieces of ammo, 1 on either side of the door, because there's 4 pieces total.
Oh, okay.
So, like, 1 here, and then 1 here, 1 here.
Cool. I'm just going to make a box there, so in case I forget this, remember that box is Cordnaveras if I forget, please.
What was that? Oh.
5 damage for each arrow.
Okay.
What?
Remember that for me.
Hey, there's a dude there. Oh, there's 2 dudes there.
So the room beyond you, I think most of you can probably see this. So this is a vaulted chamber featuring a 10-foot deep sunken floor surrounded by ledges without railings. So all of the black stone-looking stuff in here, that is 10 feet below the perimeter. Make sense?
Yep.
Cool. There are alcoves along the ledges, holding painted wooden statues of hornet-headed humanoid warriors, each wearing a grass skirt and clutching a spear. On the far side of this room, there is a gruesome throne lashed together of bone and strips of skin standing on a little outcropping. There are a fearsome horned skull surmounts this throne on the back of the chair, and small skulls are piled around it. The seat of the throne appears to be made of stretched skin and has a metal scepter resting on it. Shuffling about the room are 3 gaunt humanoid figures in dusty robes draped in cobwebs, their eyes and mouths stitched shut. Armed with brushes and clay pots of pigment, they paint walls and pillars with grim, poorly rendered illustrations. The floor in the pit in front of you is littered with bones and clay pots and paintbrushes.
Huh. But they don't seem to be outwardly hostile to us. I'm assuming they must have seen us come in.
Well, they can't see. Their eyes are stitched shut. But they are busily painting whatever they are in front of. They make no response to Xanthiel, Yaza, all of you, as you start entering this room.
Gonna say, like, a horse in, like, full plate armor couldn't be quiet, like, by any means.
You're not a horse, sir. You're a centaur.
Well, you know, same thing.
So you said there's a scepter on the throne here?
There's a scepter on the throne. This pit is actually full of a detritus of human and other bones, paint pots, paint brushes, and other things.
Does this zombie painter react if I try to push past him?
Nope.
Cool.
Sweet.
Inspect these statues. Do they look like they're gonna come
So-
to life or anything like that?
They look like statues, gaudily painted. Xanthiel, you see behind that statue, there looks like what should be a secret door that has been left ajar. And there is a chamber beyond that statue.
Can I pull that statue out of the clove?
Sure. It's not a token, so yeah.
I'll just assume that it's out of the way then.
Note to self, I will tell the map maker to make those tokens. Because I know the guy.
Nice.
So I'm gonna,
Hey, that was
Santhia, I'm gonna pause for a second to let everybody else decide what they want to do
Oh,
before
sorry.
you're running forward. So Sebastian, you have approached the throne.
Yep, I'm looking at the scepter. Is it made of iron? Or does it appear to be made of iron?
Give me one moment. So the throne itself, I'm just going to give you kind of a chunk of description here. The throne looks like it's made from skin and bones. The skull atop the throne is not human. It probably looks like a minotaur skull to you. The scepter on the throne is made of solid iron and appears to have an adamantine head.
That's neat. I wonder if there's another one of those around here somewhere.
Don't mind me doing this. Okay,
Did-
cool.
If I inspect these statues, they're holding weapons, right?
Yeah, so the statues they're painted wooden statues. They have the heads have hornets on them. So they have like hornet masks or hornet heads. It's hard to tell the difference. They're carved wooden statues that have hornet heads. They have a grass skirt and are all clutching a wooden spear that is set into the statue.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to check out the scepter too, so I would Bastion.
Is anybody gonna pick the mace up?
I want to find another one before I do anything with either one of them.
So you guys
Notice
heading
anything?
up into that room?
Yeah.
Okay, so this room, the walls of this room are adorned with tile mosaics of a jungle city, intermingled with frescoes of flowering plants, birds, insects, and humans wearing gold skirts and carrying spears and ornate jugs. The ceiling is painted to look like a clear blue sky. On top of the sarcophagus in the middle of the room, there is a small bejeweled cockroach. The sarcophagus itself is made out of black basalt. Basalt? Basalt? I don't know how you say that word.
Basalt?
Basalt. Oh, look at you. A 2-foot diameter orb hanging from a chain above the sarcophagus is made of hammered gold to resemble a smiling sun. That's a nice ringer.
Are those trowels on the bottom of the floor?
Is what now?
Are those trowels on the floor?
Are you saying trows?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Sorry, the grooves in the ground.
Oh, no, I think it's artistic decoration.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I was about to say blood sacrifice. Blood sacrifice.
Yeah, so there's
We can still do that.
there's the coffin, the jeweled cockroach atop the coffin, the murals on all the walls, the sun orb hanging from the ceiling, and the ceiling itself is a dome painted to look like a sky.
Yeah, I want to look at all the murals on the walls.
So the murals, if you had to pin it down, they're reminiscent of So I'm back. I feel like I want to point out that that's maybe the best DM transition I've ever done, and I will never top it again. And as you... Did anybody else leave while I was gone? Sorry. No. Okay,
Alex
cool.
did, but she'll be back in a minute.
Cool. So Teresa, as you finish your ritual casting of Detect Magic, you feel an aura of evocation magic around the sun hanging from the ceiling, and from the bejeweled cockroach atop the sarcophagus. In the time that y'all have been sitting here waiting for Teresa to finish her ritual cast, you notice a few things about the sarcophagus. It has in common the name Napaka inscribed onto the top of the sarcophagus. I'll type that in chat just to make it super clear. And the lid is sealed with strips of melted lead that look like they could quite easily be removed.
If I take a closer look at the sun thing, do I notice anything unusual about it?
Aside from the fact that it's a 2-foot orb of hammered gold made to look like a smiling sun, which I would say is incredibly odd in and of itself.
Yeah.
It seems to be a ornamental decoration hanging above this sarcophagus.
Huh. Why would anyone want to make an ornate cockroach?
Could be symbolic, maybe. It's like, Egyptians making symbols of like a dung beetle, because it's representative of a creator god.
As a complete aside, I love how voice mods noise gating can't even not pick up me chewing a soft protein bar. So do you guys want to do anything in here?
Pretty.
I want to open the sarcophagus. Obviously.
Do we want to try to open the sarcophagus?
Okay.
Does Orvex know anything about the name Napaka?
Hey, we got NPCs. So Orvex, go ahead.
My plan for opening this was going to be just shove the coffin lid open.
Same.
Orvex comes in as you guys kind of, I'm assuming one of you goes and gets him and says, "Hey, dude," thing. So Orvex comes in, glances around the room, looks at everything, opens his notebook, flips back and forth a bit, and says, "I believe that if this sarcophagus truly contains one named Napaka, this may be one of the former rulers of Omu."
Alright, let's open it.
Yep.
Yeah, gotta open it.
Xanthiel shoves
Yeah.
the lid off. Or tries to.
Yeah, I was just gonna help him.
And this would be pushing, so she has about 2,000 pounds of force.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
So
Sweet.
you knock open the lid between all of you. You're quite able to open the lid. Inside the sarcophagus, you see the magically preserved remains of a Cholton woman. She is wearing tattered remnants of a tattered remnants of a black gown and a hornet mask made of painted gold. In her left hand, there's an iron scepter with an adamantine head. And that is what is in the sarcophagus.
Okay, so we found the 2 iron scepters. Now what?
Yeah, so I'll try to pick the one up out of the sarcophagus.
Mask might be important too? Question mark.
So, Yaza, you're picking up the scepter?
Yeah.
I need everybody in the room
Ah, shit.
to make...
Does this include me?
No,
Well,
it does not
technically the room,
include.
yeah.
It's everybody in the circle of the room. I need you all to make a dexterity saving throw as the
Awesome.
golden sun, its expression changes from a smile to an angry frown.
Oh!
Ooh.
Oh!
Ooh.
Holy shit, that's my best
Teresa
dex
and
save ever.
Orvex get my aura bonus of 4.
Oh shit, Orvex. No.
So Orvex is going to need to make this save +4. Ooh, Orvex fails.
No, Orvex.
Let's see here. So,
And everyone's dead.
Teresa, Necromancer Jesus saves. Everybody else fails. Let's see
She's
here.
working
Come
with
on,
the other
Danny.
necromancer in charge of this tomb. Suspicion.
Golden Sun. The first time the Queen's remains. Blah 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 blah. Oof.
That's not good.
Everybody who's not Teresa takes 42 fire damage as the sun explodes.
Oof.
Incorrect, I'm resistant to fire.
42.
Me and all friendly creatures within 10 feet of me have resistance to damage from spells.
Ah. Wait, does that mean
Well-
I get double resist then?
Yeah, I'm resistant to fire too.
The sad news is that Orvex, despite that resistance, is immolated
Oh, no.
to a crisp.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
He erupts into flames, screams for a brief second, and then collapses in a moldering pile in the corner. And Orvex has been killed by the sun.
Shit.
By the sun.
That's unfortunate. What was the damage again?
42 fire damage.
Yeah. I always tell everybody to bring their sunscreen.
So if you're resistant, it's half, right?
It's half damage.
21 then.
And Teresa, somehow, you have walked through the fire.
Amazing.
Someone would be very proud of you right now.
Yes.
I would say you actually feel almost within you. You feel like you hear a deep resonant chuckling as these flames bathe everyone around you and
I hit
you
under.
don't.
You do what now? You heal everyone for 25?
Yep,
Wow.
my undo button. That didn't happen.
Well, you heal almost everyone for 25, except for Orvex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Orvex is
Doesn't work on dead, unfortunately, and I can't bring people back while this curses are going.
Yeah, sadly,
Yeah.
Orvex has perished.
Yeah. He's been with us for so long.
not anymore.
Oh well. And I'm gonna copy a Sareth move and look through his stuff, see if he had anything.
I mean, he has a note. Well, no, actually, all his shit's
that would
burned.
be bad. God dang it.
Yeah, he had a notebook, but it's burned, and he didn't really have much else beyond that. He had kind of been stranded here, so yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so there's there's the lid of the sarcophagus, the jewelry box wherever you tossed it. The sun has dimmed somewhat. It almost looks like it's made out of burnished bronze at this point. And the corpse, the preserved corpse in there, is unaffected by the flames.
Yep. Kellic will definitely pick up the jewelry box.
Cool. Do you open
I
it?
feel like I should try to raise Orvex.
Yeah, I'll open it.
No, you could.
I already have 3 zombies, so
Oh.
You're at your max. So the jewelry box, it's a cockroach-shaped jewelry box made of gold set with precious gems, including tiny black pearls for its eyes. The treasure box itself is worth 1,500 GP. It contains inside of it 2 small items. A small jade key shaped like a crocodile, and a necklace of small beads shaped like fireballs.
Small jade key looks like a crocodile.
And a necklace of what looks like tiny fireballs with 8 beads on it.
Oh, that's neat. If it is what I think it is.
How many little tiny fireballs, out of curiosity?
8.
Fun.
But do we still have the scepter?
Did you pick... are you still holding it after all that? If so, then yes, you have the scepter.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I'm gonna get fired on for it, I'm keeping it.
Yaz ain't scared of no fire.
Yeah.
I mean, we just sacrificed our interpreter for it, so...
That's right, you can't read any Cholton anymore.
Nope.
Old
Omuin.
Teresa could use her with magic, couldn't she?
Could she raise Orvex?
No, I mean, she can speak Cholton with, like, a spell, I thought.
Oh.
Like anything that lets you do that.
Somebody has a comprehend languages thing.
Yeah, and I've got tongues, so...
You have
Got
multiple
that.
tongues? That's weird.
No, the spell.
Multiple tongues. Wait, what? Okay.
I want to pick up the scepter that's over on the creepy throne.
Xanthiel stuffs whatever remains of Orvex's body into a chest that she just lugs around.
Isn't it just like char?
His body?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not? I'm pretty
I
sure I
mean-
can fit it in that.
It wasn't like he was put in a blast furnace. He was a frail old man that got set on fire and died.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm reading something real quick, Sebastian.
Sure.
So I think Yaza has it. So you're picking up the scepter that is right there, right? That's what you're doing.
Yes.
So when you pick up the scepter, the 3 blind zombie artists kind of turn their heads in your direction, and the bones in the center of this throne room begin to glow with an eerie greenish blue light and begin coalescing into a
it down.
structure
Put it
or
down.
feature in the middle of the room.
Rush out.
Yeah, Kellic
Yeah.
gets out here and gets on the roof.
And over the course of about, I'm going to say like 2 rounds worth of time, it coalesces into a giant,
hi.
a bone dragon.
Hey, we found a dragon.
There's a dragon.
hey.
Teresa, why
there
didn't you
go.
build one of those instead of zombies?
I tried.
This seems way better.
The dragon itself is animated with kind of a bluish greenish glow. Above its skull are a pair of additional purple points floating almost like a second pair of eyes above the skull of the dragon itself. And reverberating through the room, coming from nowhere, there is a voice that says, "Most visitors don't get far enough to reach my throne room. You should consider yourselves honored."
Kellic shoots the dragon.
is lovely.
Amazing.
Cool. Well, with that, if you shoot it, I'm just going to go ahead and say...
But
roll
Sebastian
and-
was going to befriend it. God dang it.
I know, that's why I did that first.
Oh.
I'm going to say roll initiative.
He wouldn't fit through the hallways anyway.
I mean,
Yeah.
Joshua already has trouble. Oh, and now I no longer have the highest initiative.
Don't have to roll for. God, his name slipped out of my head. Orvex.
Well, I got him in my chest, so
Yeah.
I can throw the chest at him.
He's in the empty hole where my heart's supposed to be.
If the music is too loud for anybody, if you can even hear it, you can adjust the volume. Just want to point that out. Because that was an issue with Saturday. So, okay, let's see here. Nope, you're not dead. Start combat. What just happened? And the music stopped. Thanks, fucking Foundry. Oh my god. There we go. Trying to set the mood. Sebastian, it is Iku's turn. The two blind artists in the turn order don't seem to react. They are just watching what is happening in front of them.
And is the bone dragon is like on the floor down there, or what?
Yes. So it's about 10 feet below you. The room in total, at its highest point, is about 30 feet high.
All right. Well, Iku will just hop down and take a swing at it.
Cool. Why can't I see the attack? Am I blind? Sorry. A 17 will hit.
Nice.
Nice.
And it will do less damage than you would expect. Her staff hits it, but it seems to be somewhat resistant to bludgeoning damage. Anything else for Iku?
Nope.
Cool. Does anybody want to roll a d10 to find out what Ray Belcorge gets? Cool. He will get a Fear Ray.
Woo. Because the bone dragon's gonna be very afraid.
Belcorge is smart enough to know that he's probably not going to apply fear to a bone dragon. But Belcorge is going to float over and hopefully get in position to threaten this creature. And I think that is Belcorge's turn because he has no other real good targets to Fear Ray. And it is the Bone Dragon's turn. So let's see here. Sebastian, you are holding the mace?
Yes.
Oh, this should be fun.
Oh shit.
The Bone Dragon is going to move forward. I guess a lot of people get attacks of opportunity on it. So,
Including me.
oh, that's right. I'll roll for Belcorge. Can I do that? Bite. A 27 will hit. Kellic, you don't get an attack of opportunity. Stop it. Let me rephrase that. Iku, Keshma, Belcorge, and Sebastian get attacks of opportunity. The rest of y'all can stop rolling. Okay, let's see here. So, Sebastian, you hit for 12 piercing damage. And then, let's see here. The quarterstaff from Iku does not hit. I'll roll for Belcorge's bite attack. Damn.
Heyo.
He's a hungry boy.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
What the hell just happened?
Belcor kills it. No,
He doesn't kill it, but
just bites the fucking left back leg off. Like,
Like the floating eyeball in a mouth.
I'm sorry, I never ever thought that.
Keshma also got an attack?
Yeah, 1 second here. Okay, so 15 plus 18 is 20, 33. Divided by 2 is 16.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking MVP right now.
Okay.
Wow.
Just
Very
fucking chonking.
This is why I hate having NPCs, because they pull shit like that. Keshma. Does anybody own Keshma besides me right
I
now?
don't think so.
Does anybody want to play Keshma?
I'll play Keshma.
She can hit hard. Let me get her token. Keshma. Oh, there we go.
Big stone lady who punches thing.
Yeah. Configure permissions. Let me go to Azora and make you the owner. And you should now be able to double click on Keshma and see her stuff.
Yeah.
The only attack she actually has is Fist. The
She
others,
doesn't have Maul.
she doesn't have the Maul, and she doesn't have Phantasmal Killer. So sorry.
I don't think Phantasmal Killer would do much.
Yeah. And for my sake, please ignore her spell list.
Okay.
She was looking at
I
it.
just started going.
Yeah. For reasons, most of her spell list is non-functional unless I, as the DM, make it happen.
Okay.
Because she hits like a
Is
freight
the
train.
multi-attack though?
Well, attack of opportunity is only a punch. You don't get the multi-attack on attack of opportunity. But on her turn, she gets multi-attack.
Oh yeah. That's what I mean. Like she has that.
Yes.
Okay. So she gets the attack of opportunity.
Yes.
right?
So she gets one fist attack as her attack of opportunity. And that will not hit.
It's going well so far.
Yeah. Okay. So now I get to do the dragon stuff. Sebastian is going to attack you.
Okay.
With its multi-attack. We're
boy.
gonna ignore Frightful Presence for reasons, and then it
Well,
makes
also happen to be immune to fear.
well awesome. You are unafeared. It does, however, have a necrotic aura that you can feel as it enters your range. You can feel the weird seeping energy of this dragon coming at you. But it is going to multi-attack you, which is 1 bite and 2 claws. So the bite is a 22.
That hits.
For no piercing and 2 necrotic. Do I have that right?
Sounds legit.
And then, yeah, because you're immune to piercing and slashing, right?
Yep.
Claw 1
That'll hit.
for 10 slashing, which has no effect. And it will try again, even though it doesn't really matter, but you're the lucky little bastard, aren't you?
I'm just gonna tank it like a boss.
I'm going to have to pick someone else to play with. And that is the end of the dragon's turn. Yaza, it is your turn.
So Yaza's gonna get out her staff of the python. And she's going to have the giant. I don't know why it rolls. I just wanted it to come up what it is, but okay. Yeah, she's.
Oh, do I need to get you a python?
Yeah, get me the big snake.
It's a big, not sneaky snake.
And I'm gonna put it next to the bone dragon.
Is that good?
Is what?
I don't see it.
Yeah.
See it?
I see the snake. It's right next to me.
Oh, maybe we're just like.
Maybe. Oh,
No, well,
Rio just dropped.
I just
because
refreshed.
he's reloading.
Oh, okay, cool. Wasn't
Anyways,
sure.
He's next to the bone dragon. Oh, I see it now.
So, like, where do you want it?
Want him down there in the space with the bone dragon, wherever is fine, but next to him.
Yeah,
is
that
good.
that looks like a beautiful place to me.
Yep, kind of. I mean, yeah, obviously, want him to do stuff. Anyways, okay, so because the dragon's still in this pit, right?
I mean, it's kind of like half in the pit, one claw on the throne. Like, it's a huge creature. It pretty much takes up the whole cube it's in.
Yeah. So is the snake. But I was just making sure, like, some of it was still on the ground because then the snake can go up on it.
Yeah, it is not flying, if that is your question.
That's my question. I could have asked it simply, but I did not. So, so he's going to try and constrict. I think it's a.
Oh.
Just roll a d20.
It's blah, 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 plus 6.
D20 plus 6.
D20 plus 6.
Dang.
Oh my god. Yep, alright, that's cool.
So it is grappled.
Yeah, because the bludgeoning doesn't do anything to it, right?
Does half, I think.
Sorry, I'm looking at a couple different things at once. What does it have? Attributes. Damage resistances. No, it's not actually immune to bludgeoning. It doesn't have anything against bludgeoning. So it's 2d8 plus 4 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, I was just making sure. So,
Oh, sorry. It's immune to non-magic physical damage. Haha, you're right. I didn't put all the categories in. I just put non-magic physical. Yeah,
okay.
you hit it and it just has the damaging portion of the attack has no effect.
Yeah, that's
But
what
it is restrained.
It is restrained.
Okay,
which
that's
I'm gonna
really
have to
all
look
I
up
was
again.
trying to do with that anyways.
Restrained.
I mean, I could have had it bite it, but I figured have it at least restrained. Okay. That is all. That's all I can do for now anyways, right? Since that was my action to do that.
Yep.
To get the snake. And I'm gonna stick. Actually, can I move over near
You can
this
definitely
ship?
move. It's gonna do something at the end of your turn. So make your move, and then I'm gonna.
I was gonna just go over to try and help Sebastian.
Sure. Although restrained, it hums and vibrates and rattles, and summons skeletons into the room from the pile of bones around it. And it gets 3. So let me summon some skeletons into this room. I'm going to have them act on the Bone Dragon's turn to save us all initiative headaches. And it takes 3 damage as it summons those skeletons. kind of shedding some bones from itself that rattle out and rise as skeletons themselves. Sebastian, it is your turn.
All right, cool. You get to attack with advantage.
So a 27 will hit.
How many times am I going to get one away from a crit?
It's a good question. So that's what, 8 damage and 10 damage. And okay, hold on. Yeah, the Polearm Master will attack for 8 damage. Cool. At the end of your turn, Sebastian, it is going to whip its tail out. Actually, no, it's not going to attack you. That was dumb. It's going to attack Yaza with its
come
tail.
on, bring it.
No, it's attacking Yaza. It's attacking Yaza with its tail. Does a 29 hit?
Oh, yes, that hits. Jesus.
That will be 10 bludgeoning damage. And I think it is Xanthiel's turn.
Sweet. Well, I can see that it can summon skeletons. So, we are going to do...
Oh, I'm sorry. Yaza. I also need you to make a Constitution save as you enter the aura of this creature. As you close into this creature, you feel a wave of just death and sickness, and take 3 necrotic damage as you get close to it.
Great.
Okay, carry on, Xanthiel.
Alright. I'm going to charge down here next to Mr. Bone Dragon and cast Spirit Guardian.
Cool, now that... We've agreed that takes effect on the start of the creature's turn, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Just want to make sure I'm running it consistent.
They'll eat 17 radiant when it happens.
Okay.
And I think I still have a bonus action? Question mark?
Yeah.
Hold on. Damn it, it's a concentration spell. Is it? Doesn't say it is.
What are you
If
trying
you're
to
about
cast?
to try and do a spell as a bonus action, you can't.
Yeah, I was just seeing if it is. Oh, I can't. Yeah, that's right, because I already cast this.
Cantrip is your main action, bonus action spell is your other action, because that rule is really weird.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, that'll do that.
Cool, it is Kellick's turn.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go over here first.
Whoa.
Whoa, you just moved like...
Because Yaza and I are still linked.
It's like you're a couple, it's so cute.
I know, you need to break that. It's awful.
I don't know why it does that, to be honest.
Alright, so big huge surprise. Hunter's Mark. Also, I'm pinging as Azora, apparently.
Yeah, because you still have me select.
Oh, son of a bitch.
You'll watch that mouth, young man.
Sorry, I have to go look up something real quick. The one fucking other ability I did not put in here, apparently. There it is. Okay, cool. So, sorry, what are you doing, Kellick?
I don't know. Alex is just clicking around randomly. So...
I wonder if it's because you're from the same IP address. I don't know. Anyway.
It's never been a problem before.
I don't know. What you doing?
So I'm gonna shoot the bejesus out of it.
The Bone Dragon? Cool.
Yeah.
26 will hit for 9. Uh, 24 will hit for 10. And the final attack will hit for 9. And then another 6.
Yeah, so it should be
If you want, you can
11, 14.
do an advantage roll for all of those to see if any of them actually crit.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Which they didn't, so that's fine. So yeah, 11, 13, 23, 26.
Why is Keshma rolling extra?
31, 40. So 40 damage.
Keshma
Because he
also
has
moved
all three, like he
when-
has Yaza, Kellic, and Keshma clicked.
God damn it. So
God.
annoying.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I was just trying to figure out why Keshma rolls were showing up in there. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Cool. Skip that. It is Keshma's turn. I think that's Yaza.
Yep, that's me. Oh, I think I see what. Okay, so she just has the fist and the so she can just hit their fist, basically, right?
Yeah.
There's a 17 hit.
She has to get close to it.
Oh yeah, she's not all the way over here, huh?
Yeah, Keshma has to
God, I'm not-
actually get in range of something.
Hello. She's not gonna hit the snake. Let's see. Well, because she's what, large?
So she needs a 4x4 space to fit in somewhere.
But she can go beat up on one of the skeletons.
Yeah, that's true. So she'll go down to try to make her way down into this pit area. So she'll hit the skeleton.
Sorry, I'm just checking distances real quick. Okay, she can make it to that point. Cool. Yeah, you can attack the skeleton.
Do you want me to roll again? Does that hit this? Did either of those hit the skeleton?
Oh, sorry. The 17 will hit, the 11 will not.
Okay.
And then, did that do damage? 15 bludgeoning damage. That, yeah. That's the end of that skeleton. Because it turns out Keshma, she's good at hitting.
I mean, that's it. She did her 2 attacks.
Cool. Okay. Then it is Teresa's turn. Hey, Teresa. Are you there, Teresa?
I haven't heard her for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm pinging her real quick. Okay, let's look at Teresa. What is this spell? That seems bad. That seems bad. That seems good. I'm just gonna run Teresa's turn because, you know, DM Fiat. No, not that. Not that. I want a line. I'll get a line. Ray template. Yeah, that can work. She is going to cast, I think, Lightning Bolt on the dragon and the one skeleton behind it. They need to make dex saves.
And the dragon has disadvantage
Oh, does it?
because it's restrained.
Oh, that's right. And despite being restrained, it seems to shrug off the worst of it. I'll roll the damage in a second. And I need to roll for the skeleton. Who also fails. So the damage on Lightning Bolt will be 41. So that skeleton gets blapped.
Damn good roll for a lightning bolt.
Yeah, right. So the dragon will actually take 20 damage instead of the 41. It shrugs off the attack regardless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20. Cool. And that, I think, is her action. I think Teresa is smart enough to know that her zombies don't do magical damage and will keep them... Oh, they could go for the skeleton, couldn't they? Yep. So they will shuffle their way down to the skeleton, and they will do a bunch of slam attacks. 1, 2, 3. Let's see where the skeleton is at. 13, so a 15 will hit, and a 23 will hit. Da-doop, da-doop. So a total of 14 damage. That is a black skeleton from her zombies. And I'm going to count that as Teresa's turn. It is Iku's turn.
Okay. What's her movement? 30 feet?
Yep.
We'll come to here and quarterstaff the bone dragon for all the good that does.
That is not magical. She hits it real good, and her quarterstaff bounces off the bones. Not. Oh, wait. Sorry.
Is it immune or resistant?
Immune to non-magical physical damage.
Ooh, okay.
I also need her to make a Constitution saving throw as she enters the aura of this dragon. And she passes, so...
She's not bothered.
She doesn't care at all. At the end of Iku's turn, there's just a deep chuckle from the voice of this dragon, and it kind of starts vibrating, and the blind artists and the zombies in this room slowly just kind of start shaking in unison, and their flesh and bones fall apart and are summoned into the bone dragon.
Oh, that's a neat trick.
And let's see here, 22 times 3, so that's 66. The blind artists also have 22, so 22... What is 22 times 6? 6 times 20 would be 120, 132. It absorbs all of the undead creatures in this room and reconstitutes them into itself. And the damage that it appears you guys have done to this bone dragon seems to just kind of knit itself as it summons back all of these dead and undead creatures. And it is Belcorge's turn.
Yeah, Therese is gonna be pissed you killed her. Zombies.
I
Well, you
mean,
can be happy that her zombies actually killed something.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, they stopped some healing from happening.
They did.
There you go. That's the ability. I did not actually have it put on the character sheet because I'm an idiot, but I can give you the homebrewery tab after the fight to prove that that was there. Does somebody want to roll for Belcorge's eye raise to see if he gets something useful?
What do you roll?
A D10.
Right.
It's completely random what a beholder gets. 2. Paralyzing Ray.
Hey.
And the bone dragon, Belcorge doesn't seem keen on that, so he's going to float over and bite with advantage.
I mean, it worked last time. Jesus.
The paralyzing ray?
No, the bite.
Oh, yeah, well, we'll see what he can do.
Oh no. I jinxed it.
Neither of those rolls are good, so that is the end of Belcorge's turn. And there is no triumphant telekinetic voice from Belcorge this turn. Which brings us to the bone dragon. It needs to make an escape check.
Well, it needs to make a save against Spirit Guardians.
Oh, you're right. What is the save against Spirit Guardians?
Excellent question. Oh, wait, 16. Because the same. What's my spell DC?
What is your spell DC?
That is an excellent question. I'm gonna have a.
It's wisdom, right?
And
My
since
spell,
16
no, my spell
wisdom-
DC is 16. Yeah, never mind.
16 wisdom?
Yeah.
Oh! It is still restrained. So what does that do to me? Its speed is 0. It can't benefit from a bonus. Attack rolls have advantage, and it has disadvantage. And it has disadvantage on dex. Cool. Xanthiel, since you are holding those spirit guardians, it is going to, while restrained, turn its maw towards you and breathe out a wave of necrotic breath.
Oh, jeez, I have to make a deck save.
Yep.
Oh, the best thing I'm at.
How much damage did it take from Spirit Guardians?
Should it take 16? Oh, I have
17.
Ah,
7, 8, 10,
yeah,
11,
I
12,
don't think it's
13,
resistant
14,
to
15, 16, 17. Got it. Got it.
So DC 6. Oh boy.
And you failed. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, surprise. Oh jeez.
43 necrotic damage. Also, you need to make a Constitution saving throw against its necrotic aura.
Constitution. Jesus. I rolled a 3.
You will take 4 more necrotic damage being in its aura.
Oh, that's again.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, so I've used 2 of that, and then I've done that. And it's my turn. I did the attack, so that is the end of the bone dragon's turn. Yaza, it is your turn.
Oh, that's it? That's it.
You
Just
do
like-
you do need to make a Constitution saving throw. Hey, Teresa, I cast Lightning Bolt on the dragon and one of the skeletons. It hit both of them, and then the dragon ate your skeletons to heal itself because they were undead. To catch you up.
It's fine.
So yeah, Yaza, you will take 1d10 damage. Or no, 1d8. 1d8, sorry. Let me do that.
Oh, thank God.
And Belcor's rolled that for some reason. But continue with your turn and the giant constrictor snake's turn. Teresa, your zombies did kill one of the skeletons it summoned, so there's also that. Prevented some healing.
Okay.
That'll hit. For... let's see here. The second one will not
You
hit.
should have advantage on these attacks.
Why do I have advantage? Oh, because
Blinking, it's also restrained.
Oh, yeah. That's
It's-
right. I
It's
forgot.
all advantages.
Restrained.
The 28 will hit. So that'll be a total of 20 damage because it's a +1 longsword. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 13. Got it.
Yeah, it's just, and the snake will keep restraining it. It's not gonna let go.
You can make another bite or constrict attack if you want. I'm not sure if it'll do anything.
I don't think it does anything because it's not magical at all.
That is true, so we'll skip that because there's no point.
Because I was gonna say, is it magical because the snake itself came from magic? But it's not. I don't think so.
No, the snake itself it was summoned by magic, but it is not a magic. Yeah.
That's what I figured.
It
That's why I was
follows
like,
the
I'm
stat
just
block of a giant constrictor snake, which is not bad. I mean, you do have it restrained, which is nice. Anything else, Yaza?
Nope, that'll be it.
Sebastian, it is your turn. I do need you to make a con saving throw.
Right, sure. Saving throw.
That's a pass. You shrug it off. Okay, so 28 and 19 both hit.
Just the 19 is me.
Oh, sorry, the 19 will hit. As will 21, so 7 plus 8. And then, okay, sorry, 7, and then 8, and then 9. Seven, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Cool. Ba, 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 ba. Is that everything on your turn?
Yep.
Kellic? Oh, nope. I skipped Xanthiel. Xanthiel, make a con saving throw.
Alright.
What the hell? Xanthiel wants a turn? That's bullshit.
Yeah, everybody gets a
Alright.
turn. That's a pass, so that necrotic aura that it has does nothing to you.
Splendid. And I don't have a magical weapon, so because I think my mace of whatever, menace or something, got disenchanted after I picked up a different spirit.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's just a regular old mace now.
Yep, for you it's a regular old mace.
Well, I can't really do a whole lot then besides maintain my spirit guardians, I guess.
You can heal
You have,
yourself.
Good heal.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Do you have spiritual weapon?
Yeah, spiritual weapon.
I do, but isn't that a concentration?
No.
No. Mm-mm.
No? Oh. Wait, what level is spiritual weapon?
I think
2 or
it's
Second.
3?
second.
I don't
level
have it
now.
readied. Rip. Never mind.
Okay.
You have a damage cantrip.
I can just heal myself, I think.
Okay.
Oof. And I roll a 1. Of course.
Ouch.
That's honest work.
Oh, I can't do that this turn. Okay. Fair enough. Is that the end of your turn, Xanthiel?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I clicked it. It should be Kellex then.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So at the end of your turn, the dragon is going to whip its tail out at Teresa and make a tail attack.
Wait, she's in range? That's like 20 feet away.
It's got a 15-foot range.
It should also have disadvantage on the attack because restrained.
And he's in a
Oh.
pit, so I thought it'd be longer than 15 foot.
Well, fine. It'll attack you then.
That's fine. It's not gonna hit with 19.
I'm just going to roll
have
it.
to add another fucking 10 to that to hit me.
Tail has run out of its designated attribute? Come on. So the 19. So the 19 misses. Fair enough. So it tries to whip you
25
with it,
misses.
but it doesn't hit. Well, the 19 would be the roll.
Yeah, but
Sorry, now Kellett can go. Come on, I gotta get my legendary actions in, guys.
Yep. Yep.
A 30 and a 16 for 6 plus 13.
fucking 30 on attack rolls? Jesus.
31 is a crit, so
Yeah.
Okay,
Still
so
insane.
are the 2d6 the hunter's mark?
yeah.
Did you actually cast that at the beginning of the fight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So 6 plus 13 is 19, plus 11 is...
30.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Sorry, I can't math after I finish working every day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So you guys are starting to knock bones off of this thing. Like, it's starting to look pretty rough again. Like, you did a ton of damage last round, and it kind of sucked it all back up. You're getting pretty close to where you were before it dastardly sucked all the undead in the room into itself. Anything else, Kellic?
Nope.
It is Keshma's turn.
I was thinking about lightning arrowing it, but then I'd hit literally everyone else.
Yeah, I was looking at Teresa's spell list, and I was just like, I can't cast half of this stuff. So who had Keshma?
That's true.
I did. Oh, sorry. Yeah, she's gonna go down. She's gonna keep going down into the pit. Yeah, and she's gonna try
It's
and
going
get up
down.
next to the dragon there. Can she? I think she can make it that far with how big she is.
Yeah, I think she can pull that off.
Great. She's gonna use fist and fist the bone dragon. Not in that way though.
So the first fist that you fist the bone dragon.
Fisted real good.
But it appears that might be the bone dragon's thing because it doesn't seem to do anything. Keshma just slams her fist into the bones, and you just hear that dry, raspy voice it just chuckles as Keshma lands a fist into it.
Yeah, I don't think she has any magic at all.
She does not have magical damage right now, which is unfortunate for Keshma. And the voice just says to her, I captured you before. Do you think I'd let you hit me here now? And it is Teresa's turn.
Okay. Alright, then, well, I guess I will try this. I'm gonna do Chromatic Orb upcasted here, and let's try with thunder damage. Does a 21 hit?
A 21 will certainly hit. For 25
Oh,
damage.
that's kind of low. For
1, 2.
78, that's low.
You rolled an amazing damage roll on your lightning bolt, though.
I did.
Yeah, 41 damage.
Nice.
You actually knock one of its forearms clear out of the space that this bone dragon is constricted in. So it just kind of sails across the room and lands in a thud to the side. So that was... You guys are starting to put some damage on this guy. And I think that brings us back around to the top of the turn order. It is Iku's turn.
So EQ is going to come over and try and heal Xanthiel.
Okay.
Thank you.
And apparently I can't mark down a use.
That's okay. She gets 3 uses a day.
Okay.
It's innate casting, so let's see here. Oh, I can't edit that either. Well, that's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Fun. Most of her spells are innate, so they're just 3 uses per day.
Right.
So I'll write a note as I slowly fill a page up with check marks. EQ. Here. Wounds. 1. At the end of Iku's turn... I'm sorry, is that the end of Iku's turn?
Yes.
The dragon manages to pop its wings free from the constricted snake, so this is not breaking its grapple in any way. But it
EQ
is
probably needed to make a Constitution saving throw. That's every turn, right?
within 5 feet, so you have to be directly adjacent. Was she?
Yeah, she started that close.
Okay. I think she passed. Necrotic Aura is a DC 15.
Okay.
So let me roll this thing. You're not out of legendary actions. It's the top of a round. Why are you... Okay.
It resets on its initiative, probably.
Oh, does it? Never mind. I thought legendary actions started at the round. Legendary actions 5e. Oh, nope, you're right. It doesn't start till its turn. Never mind. It doesn't do anything right now. Ha 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 ha. Who wants to roll a d10 for Belcorge's eye ray? To see if it gets anything useful. A 6 is... Telekinetic ray. Ugh.
Can I throw some rocks at
That
it?
sounds fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. If the target is a creature, it must succeed on a strength saving throw, or the beholder moves up to 30 feet in any direction. It is restrained by the telekinetic ray's grip until the target's next turn. Well, you know what? I think it's going to just try to double restrain it, because then it has 2 restraints to deal with. Because that seems better than biting. So the dragon needs to make a strength saving throw, which it handily passes. So no double restraint. And I think Belcorge, you just hear this grumbling sound in your minds as it floats away because it doesn't want to keep making Constitution saving throws. What was that?
Nothing. Got distracted.
Belcorge is going to take damage. 3 damage to Belcorge. And that takes us to the Bone Dragon. So it's going to try and escape the grapple on a DC 16.
First, it's going to save against Spirit Guardians.
Oh, you're right. Is that Wisdom?
Yes.
Yep, DC 16.
Oh, no, it fails. How much does it take?
17.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 16. The Spirit Guardians knock a bunch of its ribcage bones out. It's starting to look pretty tattered. Now it gets to make an escape DC of 16, which is, what, Strength Athletics?
I think it can do athletics or acrobatics.
It's better, isn't it?
It's going to do Athletics. And it is free. It's also going to roll a d6 to see if its breath weapon recharges. Which it does.
Of course.
Sorry.
But
So-
isn't it still
Are you
grappled
there?
by the telekinetic ray?
No,
Failed.
it's saved against that. So let's see
Oh.
here. I think it's going to attack on its turn. It doesn't really care about that. Well, it can fly. So it's going to come over here, which I think really only matters for Sebastian if you want to make an attack of opportunity.
Wait, don't
Already
roll.
ready.
So I think I was right next to it, so I get this attack as well.
Oh yeah, Xanthiel also gets one.
Ah, wait, never mind. I just remembered I have a magic weapon.
Oh yeah, Yaza does too. Sorry, I'm just having
I was like,
issues.
really, I don't?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so Yaza, that is a miss. And then Xanthiel, you hit, but
Yeah,
it's
it's just
normal, so it doesn't do anything.
Oh, do you
I-
get advantage with attacks of opportunity, or is it just a straight attack?
I
It's
thought it'd
just
be
a straight
bit-
attack.
But it's flanked, right? Like it was super flanked. So
I
Yeah.
don't believe flank rules apply in
Yeah, I didn't
in
know.
party.
no, I'm not sure.
Yeah, unless you're like a rogue and you're looking for sneak attack damage.
I
I'll
could be
say-
rogue.
Go-
It's not a sneak attack, just a advantage from flanking.
I think you would get flanking, Yaza.
Well, my snake was on the other side too.
Yeah, I was threatening it as well.
So an 18 will hit. Where is the damage showing up?
It's under.
6. Okay.
Good job.
Rolled a 1. Oof.
So you hit it and knock another chunk of bones out of it. It looks like it's kind of on its last legs, but it does manage to get away from you. It is going to use its necrotic breath straight across the snake and Xanthiel.
Rude.
Well, I recharged it, so how about you just let me do this? God damn it. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna roll this
Wow,
until it
okay.
actually is there.
Jesus.
Well, I rolled the 6 earlier, so screw you,
Right.
Foundry.
But
There we
what, did I
go.
Just not count it.
No, well, I just rolled a d6 flat. I didn't have it like... I didn't know I could click that button to do that. So I think the snake and Xanthiel, you need to make a dex saving throw.
Oh, you
Right.
didn't give me control of the snakes. That's all.
Oh, sorry.
And as usual,
I'll do
I'm
it.
terrible for decks.
Do you want me to just roll the save? Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wait, what?
I'm sad that a fucking snake is better at dodging shit than I am.
I'm gonna give it the
Giant snake.
18 because why not? Because I don't know how to click buttons, right? So 29 necrotic damage, And
Ow.
damn, I didn't realize they had this much life, those snakes.
Me either. I thought, I was like, oh, that probably killed it.
Yeah, I thought it was dead, but nope. Let's see here. And that is its turn, which takes us to Yaza.
Okay. Well, let's see. I was going to put. How is the bone dragon looking? Not great.
Real bad.
Okay then. I don't think I can get all the way over to him on this turn.
By the way, when you guys talk, it like zooms us in on only you and centers it on you.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you can
Moderately annoying.
disable that.
How do you disable that?
Yeah, I think I have to do it.
Oh.
There we go. Pan token to speakers. Save changes. Off. I had it on because it was helping me know when people were typing.
I was trying to do it to avoid, like, talking over.
Well, because for me, like, when multiple people are talking, when it zooms the screen, I know somebody typed something in chat.
Ah.
So as a DM, it's nice to have.
Cool. It's not zooming me in.
Okay, so Yaza, you ran down.
Yeah, I ran down. And then she's going to because is the bone dragon like still in the pit, or is he flying?
It's flying. It's just kind of flying above the pit. So I mean, like, it's not really out of range of melee because of how small the room is. It just flew up to get out of the constraint. It's more of a narrative effect, but it's just kind of like flapping and hovering about.
Okay,
5
like
or
so
10
if I
feet.
okay, so if I came up like next to the beholder, like I could hit it still.
Yeah, on the next turn you could hit it. So if you like dashed all the way over there, you could hit it on the next turn.
I'm gonna misty step over there the rest of the way.
Oh,
My bonus action.
fancy. I like it.
So that way I can hit it now.
Hit it.
Oh wait, it's not restrained anymore, so ignore that second.
Well, but you are flanking again with the snake.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with my snake.
You are flanking. So how do you want to do this?
Oh my.
I'm gonna take my sword and just like, does it still have its head?
Yes.
I'm gonna whack its head off.
So you raise your blade as it hovers there and turns to stare at you. You bring your sword down and sever the head. The bluish green light animating this thing flickers out as the skull drops to the ground and the rest of the bones collapse into a heap. The two purple eyes that have been floating above the skull of this thing the whole time just kind of float into the center of the room. And the raspy voice that has been speaking a few times says, "That was surprisingly well done. I hope you make it all the way to meet me again." And then the purple eyes fade out into wisps of purple smoke. And you have defeated the Bone Dragon.
Cool.
Yes.
Huzzah!
Alright, time to revive this thing.
Nice.
Before she does that, I want to see if there's any like valuables that I can see on it.
On
Or
the dragon?
smell.
So the only valuables you can smell in this room is the pair of adamantine-headed maces.
Okay.
We'll have run for 31.
So Teresa, you're gonna try to revive the Bone Dragon?
Well, I only have one more third level slot, so unless I upcast it, let me see.
just over here like, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna fit in the like in the walkways.
You
It's
can
bones.
squeeze, right?
Suck it in.
You know what? I won't.
I mean,
waste a
I'll be
spell slot.
amused to see it like just be stuck in this room forever. That would kind of make me giggle. I won't lie.
We can pack it up, like assemble it.
I mean, hell, even just knowing you can do it would be, that's a confidence booster for everybody, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Then again,
Like I'm literally not mad about it. I'm just like, I don't know if it's gonna fit. If it does, great.
If there's a stairwell though, like you can probably get out to that, right? So like we could fly it on out of here when this place inevitably collapses after we kill Acererak. Do that whole movie ending.
Are you gonna make me
I'm
have to?
debating if I should use the spell slot because I don't want to be wasting it willy-nilly.
I'm gonna have to queue up the Raiders of the Lost Ark theme song for the end of this campaign. You called the Bone Dragon, Indiana? Bum, bada bum, 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 bada bum, 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 bum. Okay, sorry.
Are you though? Are you really?
Yes, I am, because you know what? That's one of my favorite childhood movies, so I don't care what you think. The pen is mightier than the sword. Okay. Look, I'm waiting in my Strahd campaign to go into Strahd's castle and say, "This is a castle? There are tapestries?" Just to see if I get killed for it.
You would definitely get killed.
The character's name is Toto von Hundenwald, so, there you go.
I love it.
Okay, so I'm gonna delete Spirit Guardians, because as much as I love a good disco ball, go away. Sebastian has run up into the room of Napaka. Teresa, you are debating trying to raise the bone dragon. And so I think, Sebastian, you're carrying the scepter, right? So Yaza
I'm carrying the scepter that came from the throne.
Yeah, so I guess somewhere the two of you should write down. One of you has... Sebastian, you have the throne scepter, and Yaza, you have the other scepter.
Yes.
So, does anybody want to do anything?
Yeah, I want to make my snake a staff again.
You do so.
Sneaky snake staff.
Is there a limit to how many times a day that can happen?
Let's see what it says. I think it's just until I don't think so. It's like what I can just do it at will, but like if the snake dies, like it disintegrates.
Yeah.
God, where did you even get that thing from?
That was her spirit, wasn't it?
I think it might have been one of the spirits that I didn't like.
No, it can't be a spirit you didn't accept because it wouldn't work.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I think she accepted it and then they fought it out and didn't win.
Oh, let me check who you have.
I have
The one that she has to tell the truth.
Yeah,
You have Moa. Yep. Okay, nope, that is
Moa.
Moa's. That is Moa's staff. Sorry, it's a staff of the Python. Let me look up staff of the Python real quick just to make sure that this is not like unlimited uses forever. Staff? I'm really in German mode.
Staff.
Me can good DM.
I DM very much good.
Nope, there's no charges. It's just, oh, if the snake is ever reduced to 0 hit points, the staff shatters and is destroyed.
right. That's like the thing.
Okay.
But I didn't know it had so much hit points. I thought it had like 5 hit points, you know?
If the snake reverts to the staff before losing
Yeah.
all of its hit point, it regains all of them. So that's cool.
Yeah, so then,
So it's
but
full
it
health
takes,
again.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
bonus action too.
So, Teresa, do you want to make a call on trying to reanimate the bone dragon? Or did you fall asleep again?
I don't know. Now I like the snake thing now that I've started using it, so Mo is not half bad.
If she did fall asleep,
Except for
I say
having to
we,
tell the truth.
so we drag the under dragon, like, I don't know, somewhere, or maybe just leave it here.
See, it's a lot of bones. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of bones. It's a huge creature. Sebastian, I'm going to swap to you. You went back up into Napaka's tomb. What are you doing up there?
I'm going to give the iron scepter from the throne to Napaka.
That's interesting. I wonder if it does anything.
That's interesting.
You do so. So yeah, just make a couple of zombies out of the remaining bones. Then I will give you some zombies.
Especially since it was made out of some of her zombies at that point.
I'll say from a flavor perspective, they are zombie looking. Or zombie looking. They are humanoid zombie skeleton things that look vaguely draconic. Just given the bones that it is reconstituted from. At higher levels, for the you can animate 200% dead. Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's fine. Yeah, that sounds fine enough.
Okay. I gotta get going here.
Okay, thank you for
Starting to
playing.
fall asleep again. I'm sorry.
Take care. I hope you enjoy the rest of the movie when you get to watch it.
Good night.
See ya.
Right.
So the nothing happens when I give the scepter to Napaka.
No.
Okay.
Ah, what happened? Oh, that's
Well,
interesting.
I will just take it again.
You have it. Let me look up and see if there's any particular stats on those scepters, just to... Sorry, there's a lot of... It can be wielded... so yours can be... It weighs 12 pounds and can be wielded as a mace. The other one...
Oh, I just had
Oh, that's cool. Didn't do that, but that's fine. Doesn't matter now. Okay, yep. And Yaza, you have the other scepter.
Yep. Not doing anything with it. I just have it.
Who has it?
Yaza also has picked up a key, or was that Kellic?
Kellic,
I think that was Kellic. Yeah, because it's the jade key and
the Jade Crocodile key, yeah.
I wonder if the key goes to the clock.
What clock? I don't know what clock you're talking about.
The clock in the room over here that we found after we killed all the Minotaur skeletons.
We could go try it.
yeah.
We just don't want to be there whenever it tolls the hour.
Yeah, somebody roll a d60 for me. Cool. Thank you. It's 1:33 in the afternoon.
So we can go over now. But do we know this? How do we tell exact time?
If you get to the clock, you'll see what time it is.
Okay.
How's
So
that?
we could probably see the face of the clock from outside the room.
We'll just move Kellic over there since he's the one with the key.
Oh, I wonder if that's even working right now. Ah! Keshma doing weird crap.
Okay, so it's still roughly like 1:33 ballpark.
Yeah, when you guys get there, it's at the 1:33 mark.
Okay, well, I'll walk in and attempt to unlock the chest with that key.
So you feel around the front of the pendulum part of this clock where the invisible barrier is, and you find the keyhole. That key does not fit into this clock.
All right, well, I will then immediately exit the room and tell everybody that didn't work, and we're moving on.
Okay then.
Sounds good.
So this is a good point to ask. Do you guys want to push on, or do you want to call it for the night, since it's getting close to
I'm
midnight?
about to go take some NyQuil and go to bed.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is a good place to call it, just because if we get into something now.
Oh, hey. Sorry, I have to tell Kellic and Xanthiel something that I completely forgot about. There is, you notice in the bottom corner of that bone dragon room. Whoa, look at how many options I have. There is looks to be a seam to a door in the bottom corner of that room. And as soon as I figure out how to save my wall, there we go.
Oh. I push on it.
Can you open the door by clicking on it? Hey! It appears to lead to a spiral staircase.
Oh boy.
Oh, does that look like it's probably the staff staircase?
It certainly looks similar from your scrying trip to that staff staircase. And I think that's probably a good place to call it before we get stuck into another room.
Yeah.
So, thanks everyone.
Yeah, thanks for running.
Yep, thanks for running. That was a pretty cool fight.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm happy I homebrewed that guy. He already fought a T-Rex.
At first, and then when the skeletons were like, healing, and I was like, this is where we all die. Right here.
I don't know. It's yeah.
And I felt like it was like perfect irony from your about that dungeoning and dragoning, and I was like, what dragons? Well, there was a dragon.
Well, surprise.
Found it.
That's all.
I literally was sitting around the other day and trying to think of how to accomplish a few things, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is Dungeons and Dragons, and we've been in a few dungeons, but we haven't fought a dragon yet. That just seems wildly inappropriate. Like, it's called Dungeons and Dragons. I feel like we have to have at least one dungeon and one dragon per campaign. So
That's true.
let's make a dragon, because, you know, it's on the cover and everything.
Right?
I'm glad it worked out because I had fun designing it. So, yeah, cool. I'll ping everybody. The only thing I can think of to tell everybody right now is the week of Thanksgiving. I am 99% sure I am not going to be running Dungeons and Dragons on Thanksgiving night.
On Thanksgiving night?
Come on.
I'm assuming most of the rest of you have plans as well.
Well, yeah, just because that's true.
I will probably be food comaing by game time.
I'm trying to think.
Lyle can probably doesn't.
True.
Malkin's like, what's Thanksgiving?
No, we have that because I'm not entirely sure why, but it's an excuse for Australians to have a holiday, so we celebrate it anyway.
There you go.
We do have it.
So
We're like,
y'all-
oh, Americans got a holiday? Well, that's fucking not very fair. We'll have one as well.
Yeah. But I think also my brother said that he should be back after this week. So we should have a cleric thrown back into the mix more regularly. He's just been swamped from his PhD program and other stuff. So
Okay. Cool.
hopefully we'll have one more person in the roster to swap in and out so that, you know, yeah, cool. Well, thanks everybody. Have yourselves a good night, and I will, as always, ping next week to make sure we can run. Take care.
All righty.
Alright, sounds
See
good.
ya.
Bye,
See ya.
everyone.